Okay, well, I just discovered that somehow, somewhere along the broadcast of that first segment, it timed out. So, what you missed, we were talking a little bit about stomach virus, and we were talking about what happens if you go to Mexico and you drink the water, you end up with a bacteria. That bacteria, it's toxic to the body, so the body is expressing itself. So you have a set of reactions when you drink the bacteria, when you drink the water in Mexico. You get fever, nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, diarrhea, you're sweating, and the overall fatigue feeling. So when you have that overall fatigue feeling, we have all those symptoms going up, what happens is most people assume they're sick. But the reality of it is that you're actually very, very healthy at that instant. And so the difference in what you do is is night and day in terms of if you're living in a sick care model or a health care model. So we're talking about health care versus sick care right now. And in fact, if you're listening to 660 AM right now, they're paying one of our Victory Chiropractic commercials. So coming back from the break here, we've got I don't know 3 more minutes left. I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference in how you handle either the Montezuma's Revenge. Okay, so I take text message questions. So if you have a question and you know my cell phone number, then feel free to give me a text message and I'll answer it. Somebody sent me a text message. What do you do if you smoke, dip, or drink? Well, again, those are habits that are not necessarily healthiest. So if you smoke, dip, or drink, then what's going to wind up happening is your body is going to become toxic in a few areas. And it's going to become dehydrated. You can have all the nicotine, which is going to really be detrimental to your heart, to your lungs, to your liver, all of that stuff. Uh, Alcohol is the same way. It's going to dehydrate you, toxic to the liver. It's going to cause your body to not get what it needs in terms of digestion or absorption. So overall, your health is going to decrease from it. The good news is that God knew we were going to do all of these things, so He gave us a body that has the ability to heal. What we need to do is to give our bodies the proper nutrients to heal, the purest amount of nutrients, and have it be there for a sufficient amount of time. So, all right, hold on, let me get everything all set up for the next segment. Good afternoon. Welcome back to The Intended Lifestyle. This is your host, Dr. Brian Imphius, Clinic Director and Chiropractor at Victory Chiropractic and Spinal Decompression in Southlake, Texas. So you can also join us on a live podcast at victorychiropractic.com, and you can actually see what it looks like here in the studio, and you can see me talking. I don't know if you want to see me talking or not, but either way you can if you want. That's another tool we're trying to do to help people live a healthy life. So when we left off the last segment, we were talking about what happens if you go to Mexico and you accidentally drink the water and you end up consuming the bacteria that's in the water. And as a result, you have a set of reactions in the body. So those reactions, I'm going to run through them again. And you don't have to go to Mexico to get these. I just bring it up because it's very common to go to Mexico. But if you have a stomach bacteria or a stomach virus and you have these certain set of reactions, you've got fever, nausea, vomiting, you've got diarrhea, you're sweating, you have the chill, so your body's fatigued. All of those things are happening for a reason. So if it's happening for a reason, because the body does nothing by accident, let me ask you this. Do you think you're sick or are you healthy at that instant in time? while all that stuff is happening. Most people would say they're sick. Most people will go to the doctor and they say, look, I've got all these symptoms, and they'll say, well, what did you eat? It may be food poisoning, and they're going to give you some sort of medication. What's the medication going to do? Well, it's going to stop all of the symptoms that you're feeling. It's going to stop the fever, it's going to stop the nausea, it's going to stop the diarrhea, you won't have the sweating, and hopefully you won't be as fatigued. So in reality, what you did is you destroy the body's natural immune system. See, when you have those symptoms after consuming a bacteria that's not good for you, your body is trying to get rid of it. Your body's actually expressing 100% health, but we view it as being sick. Let me say that again. You have all of those symptoms, the symptoms of Montezuma's revenge, the symptoms of what people would call a stomach virus or a stomach bacteria, yet your body is actually expressing itself in the way God designed it to. You see, everything happens for a reason. So the chemical reactions within your body spike. So you had a fever. That's going to send more of the healing enzymes to where they need to be. It's going to send the white blood cells to where they need to go to help destroy the bacteria that's within your body. You're going to be having the nausea and the vomiting because all of the bacteria that you have not yet digested, your body wants to purge itself from. So you throw up, which on the outside it sounds crazy to think, well, throwing up is actually a healthy thing. But think about it. You've got a bacteria in your body that is harmful, and your body's trying to get rid of it. Some of the bacteria that has been digested and is already in the bloodstream, your body doesn't want that there, so you're going to try to excrete it by sweating it. You're going to try and sweat it out of your body. That's an incredible defense mechanism. You're also going to have the diarrhea, which, granted, nobody wants to have diarrhea, but if your body is trying to rid itself of a toxin, that is a great way to get it out. You're getting rid of the toxin in every single way you can. You also have the fatigue because you don't want to exert yourself doing a bunch of exercise or a bunch of work while your body's trying to rid itself of the poison that's in it. So you need to have all of those things. So you go to a medical doctor, you're living in a sick care model, and what do? You give yourself a prescription to knock out every one of those symptoms that the body has, which are there on purpose. So you knock out those symptoms, and then what happens to the bacteria that's there? If your body's defense, your body's immune system cannot defeat that bacteria, then it's going to grow stronger. If you take a bunch of antibiotics and you knock it out that way, then your body never learns how to defeat it. And so you're always susceptible to it. And since it's never really going to go away because your body didn't know how to get rid of it in the first place, then it stays there. And next time you go to Mexico, it comes back. Or next time you are exposed to the same situation, it happens again and it happens again. And your body never learns how to heal. Your body never lets the immune system function, so your immune system doesn't get stronger. Versus if you're living in a healthcare model, what you do is you let your body and your immune system destroy the bacteria naturally. You help support the immune system while you're not feeling well. And how do you do that? You help support the immune system with proper hydration. You give yourself all the vitamins and nutrients it needs, and you stay hydrated. Many people ignore those body signals, and they put themselves on medication. And then day after day, your body doesn't allow itself to get stronger. So what winds up happening is you end up getting sicker and sicker year after year instead of your immune system getting stronger and stronger. Now, this is not the easiest concept for people to think of, but once you get it, you go, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. And you see, that's what God created us for. He created us knowing we had to live here on planet Earth and knowing we were going to come in contact with these bacteria, these bugs, and we had to have a way to defeat them. And we have it. It's called the immune system. But most of us don't pay attention to our immune system, and our immune system never gets to grow like it was designed to. Because don't you think it's weird that people that live in Mexico, they can drink the water, but we can't? It's because they have built up a tolerance over the years. But we don't have that tolerance. So it's important that you take care of your body and you be proactive. Another one that's very common and it's somewhat easy to I should say easy. It's easy to get your brain wrapped around it. It's diabetes. Right now in our society, diabetes is incredibly dangerous. Many people are getting diabetes. When I'm talking about diabetes, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, which used to be called adult onset diabetes. Several years ago, they had to change the name to type 2 diabetes because they noticed that it was happening in teenagers. It was happening in preteens as well. So they couldn't call it adult onset anymore because too many kids were getting it. Type 2 diabetes is almost 100% a result of environmental or lifestyle habits. So what winds up happening is You live a very unhealthy life. You eat poor food. You're not exercising. Your blood sugar levels stay at such a high level, and your pancreas can no longer keep up with it. So instead of being able to secrete the proper amount of insulin, your body goes into insulin debt, and you need some sort of therapy for it. You need some sort of insulin. So then what do? Well, the most common thing to do is if you get to that point, you have to then be on the insulin. There's not much you can do once you've already, developed the type 2 diabetes. It takes a lot of effort to then learn how to eat right and exercise. But what makes more sense? Managing your body so that you don't ever get the type 2 diabetes. You manage it with proper nutrition, with exercise, with stress management, and you give your body the nutrients it needs so you don't develop the type 2 diabetes. Versus living the unhealthy lifestyle and then becoming someone that needs all the different medications. They're two totally separate worlds. Most people don't realize that they can live healthy. Most people don't realize that their body was created for health, and they just think, well, I'm sick now and I'm always going to be sick. And that's not the way we're supposed to live. That's not how life is supposed to be. You're supposed to be active, energetic, not having to worry about all of the different disease processes that are out there. You're supposed to live a healthy lifestyle. And by living a healthy lifestyle, it allows you to avoid some of the diseases that are out there. But most of us don't think about it that way. We think, well, I'm in my 50s now. It's time to start worrying about cancer. Or I'm in my 60s. My uncle, my grandmother, my father all had cancer. Now it's my turn. And it's not your turn. You're supposed to live a healthy life. So let me ask you this question. I want you to picture in your head, picture living a life where you don't have the need for drugs. You don't have the need for dangerous medications. Imagine your life having more energy, more time with your loved ones, having more fun on a day-to-day basis. Imagine being able to get more work done and enjoy your work. That life is possible. I know it's possible. I've seen my patients get that kind of lifestyle. I live that lifestyle. It's incredible how much more productive and how much more fun life is when you don't have the constant stress of sickness and disease. I have many, many patients that are always telling me how they're struggling with this health condition and struggling with that health condition, or their families are, or their loved ones are. And there's a common thread. It's not universal, it's common, where the lifestyles aren't congruent with what they're doing. Many people don't even realize that it's a myth that they were born to be sick. So what I want to do, I want to spend a few minutes talking about a few healthcare myths. And I guess we're coming up on a break here in a couple of minutes, so I don't want to go into too much detail about some of the healthcare myths. What we'll do is we'll talk about those healthcare myths when we come back from break. What I want to do is I want you guys to really understand the point about living a healthy lifestyle and what is a healthy lifestyle. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think it's better to take care of your body before you get sick, or is it going to be better to wait until you're sick? See, because the difference in a healthcare model versus a sick care model is in a healthcare model, you're proactive about what you're doing. In a sick care model, you're reactive. So in a healthcare model, you're going to go out and you're going to seek the proper exercises. You're going to seek the things you need to do to live a healthy life. Versus a sick care model, you're going to wait until something's wrong, and then you're going to look for some sort of drug therapy. You're going to look for something to make you feel better for the short term, because most people living in the sick care model aren't thinking about their health on a day-to-day basis. So as a result, their health tends to start to drop. And you were not designed that way. God designed you to be healthy. He designed you to be active. We're coming up on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some healthcare myths and some ways to overcome those healthcare myths. This is Dr. Brian Nymphius, and you're listening to the Intended Lifestyle, heard here on AM 660 K-Sky. We'll be back in just about 2 to 3 minutes.